Stanza now, local sporting stakeholders have been urged by the Jamaica Anti-Doping Commission, Jadco, to play their part in safeguarding the nation's proud legacy of clean sport at Thursday's symposium held at the Turnover Hotel in Kingston.
The importance of equipping athletes, support personnel and administrators with up-to-date information in the fight against doping was underscored by Jadco Chairman Debian Brown-Salmon.
What is being achieved is Jadco's mission, empowering clean sport, which is the theme of this symposium. And we are hoping that all the attendees will take away from the symposium today that exact message, because that's what Jadco is about. We are about empowering our athletes to remain clean because they don't need dope to cope.
Key issues surrounding anti-doping policies, athlete health, and Jamaica's responsibility in promoting a clean sporting environment were also placed firmly on the agenda. Dr. Gwyn Jones, who chairs Jadco's Therapeutic Use Exemption Committee, was among the presenters.
I think it's critical for the sport and the advancement of the sport. It's important for all those involved, and these include coaches, athletes, parents and agents, etc., to be aware of the rules of engagement. You know, because once that is there, then it is less likely that we'll have athletes who will test positive for things and use drugs, either performance-enhancing drugs and stuff like that. So it's critical for the dissemination of the appropriate information for athletes and their well-wishers, their camps, the entourages, to be able to be aware of what it is that they need to do to ensure that they participate in a drug-free sport.
First Vice President of the Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association, Ian Forbes, commended Jadco for their continued stewardship in safeguarding clean sport locally.
Jadco, has been around a while. They have been evolving, I think, in a very positive way, and they compare on the global stage favorably with other anti-doping agencies. I've observed them for the last 18 years. I have observed on the international stage, and with respect to best practices, protocols, etc., they rank very high. Very proactive, very creative, innovative, and I think it's very timely and welcome.
General Secretary of the Jamaica Boxing Association, Leroy Brown, National Cycling Coach Carlton Simmons, and Head Coach of Excelsior High School's girls track team, Michael Vassell, chimed in on what the symposium meant to them.
If you know beforehand what you're taking, what you shouldn't take, and if you have to take something, that it can be exempted, and the procedure that you should go through. So the awareness for the athlete, I think, is the most important thing. And this is the service that Jadco is helping us with and doing an extremely good job at it.
I think it's very important. I mean, in the whole landscape of where sport is now and the whole use of drugs, I think it's important for us to host this, where people can be educated about the use and what not to, and how to present themselves in the international space.
Things like these are always good to be at, and I mean, I was surprised to see the amount of people in the room, because especially athletes, because it's good for them to know about what counts as a therapeutic use exemption. Things like those are useful to know, because sometimes people take a simple over-the-counter medication and it has some effects and they end up being banned or a prohibited substance. So things like these are really good, and as a coach I brought some of the young athletes here so they can be exposed to this.
The theme of the symposium was Empowering Clean Sport, Jadco's Vision for Jamaica. Keon Reyna reporting for TVJ Sports.
In the meantime, First Vice President of the Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association, Ian Forbes, has been strident about his opposition to the planned Enhanced Games, which is set for Las Vegas in May. The Enhanced Games will allow athletes to use performance-enhancing drugs, which are banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, with cash prizes for some records.
Yes. With respect to that, I think that's a discussion for another time, but I find it almost disgusting to have such an event planned. Of course, we have a rich legacy in the sport from way back 1948 and even prior to that. which we have to preserve. So there must never be any doubt as to our activities and the steps and the measures we put in place to ensure that clean sport prevails in our jurisdiction.
Dr. Gwyn Jones, who has served on the medical team to numerous global track and field championships, is warning athletes against the long-term negative effects banned drugs can have on their bodies.
The danger of the enhanced games is that it gives a free rein for athletes to use drugs, some of which are not safe for human consumption and can have long-lasting effects on them, whether it's going to destroy the liver or leave them with some kind of neurological disorder or whatever. And that's the main thing. You have athletes using drugs, performance-enhancing drugs, which have known dire effects on the human body and their life after that. So one of the critical things that athletes a lot of times don't recognize is that the athletic life is just a small percentage of their entire life.
Jadco's chairwoman, Debian Brown Salmon, says she has had to rebuff approach from the organizer of the controversial Enhanced Games.
The president of the Enhanced Games had reached out to me on LinkedIn. He found me and tried to convince me over a series of messages as to why the Enhanced Games was an option, which I dispelled in many ways just by speaking about our Jamaican athletes. But I encourage people to listen to my speech and the points that I raised in it, especially the one about Usain Bolt and the issue of pride and integrity, which comes from being an athlete who is true to himself or herself and who does not believe in taking anything to help them to perform any better, because we have natural talent.